Steve Bruce's Hull had their fate in their own hands. A win over champions Cardiff would see the Tigers join them in the Premier League next season. They knew they couldn't afford to slip up. Gianfranco Zola's Watford were hot on their heels. The Hornets had to better Hull's result to ensure they'd secure the final automatic promotion place. Leeds were at Vicarage Road. And 4 candidates remain for the final 2 playoff places. Crystal Palace needed to end their dismal run against Darren Ferguson's Peterborough, a side fighting for their championship lives. We kick off this week at the KC Stadium, where Hull knew victory over Cardiff would guarantee them automatic promotion, regardless of what happened at Watford. The commentators are Dan O'Hagan, at Vicarage Road, Kevin Keatings.
This is Tong, looking for the run of Polion, who's very quick. Anya made contact with the head of his goalkeeper here, and both are injured. Warm-up drills for the soon-to-be Watford goalkeeper for the remainder of this game, Jack Bonham. Polion, could there be a problem here for Ekstrand? There's a mistake, and Polion will score! Oh, what a mix-up involving the substitute goalkeeper and Ekstrand. And Dominic Polion has scored a soft goal as far as Watford are concerned. Anya gathered that quite beautifully in his stride. Leads on the back foot here, Ikechi Anya. And Abdi, brilliant goal! Almin Abdi for Watford. Pandemonium inside Vicarage Road. Zola side level with a picture goal, his 12th of the season from Almin Abdi. All the spade work done by Ikechi Anya.
And Rossinha and El Mohamdi's touch on for Mailer again. Mailer does well. Out-muscled though, and this now is Kim Bo-kyung. Oh, Kim's great ball through to Fraser Campbell here. Campbell's in, and Campbell scores for Cardiff. Oh, the man who was one of Hull's playoff heroes 5 years ago has scored the goal to derail for now their promotion push. And here goes Brady now. Brady still. Brady and Mailer pushed away by Marshall. Kept alive here by Quinn. Quinn's cross. Proschwitz! And the dream alive again for Hull City. Nick Proschwitz, his first league goal since way back when in October, when he scored a vital bracer against Ipswich Town. This goal has double the value, treble the value, because it reignites Hull's push for a top 2 finish. In by Brady here, good delivery too, and it's in again, and McShane has done it. Paul McShane, one of the old guard from their last Premier League adventure with a scupper from the 6-yard box, has scored the goal to maybe give Hull promotion.
Forestieri trying to get away from Brown, who niggled back to good effect. And then he's caught late there, Brown. That's not a good challenge. The referee's going to take immediate action here. What colour? Yellow. It's a second yellow. It's Deeney who's the offender. It's red card for Troy Deeney. When you're on a yellow card, that is unforgivable from Troy Deeney.
Now a challenge off the ball here by the full-back on a yellow card already, of course, Andrew Taylor. A second yellow card for Taylor, and the champions end the game and the season here with 10 players. Here goes Mailer. Mailer pushed over there by Nugent Surely. Referee says penalty for Hull City. And this will clinch it as the prize next season, £120 million for promotion for the Tigers. Proschwitz from the spot, saved by Marshall. Oh, they're not there yet. Proschwitz denied from the spot by the Cardiff goalkeeper. Wow, another twist in the championship tale. And Gunnarsson throw in here now for Cardiff. If they score here, then blimey, what a finish. In by Gunnarsson. And the ball breaks loose, a handball there! A Cardiff penalty! Oh my word! Maynard! And Hull's party is back on ice big time.
The advantage played by the referee, a good advantage for Leeds. Here's Ross McCormack, goes for the chip, and the goalkeeper has spilled it into the net. And Watford's hopes of going up automatically are killed by Ross McCormack. And a mistake by the young goalkeeper, Jack Bonham. Really should have dealt with the shot. Got fingertips to it, but he couldn't keep it out. Gianfranco Zola and Watford have to make do with the playoffs.
Finish. Promotion for Hull to the Premier League.
Seen people in tunnels, people were walking in corridors, people were hiding in toilets. It was just really incredible, and for Leeds to score, it's just remarkable and just shows you how difficult a league this is.
Yeah, it didn't go the way we wanted. We're very unfortunate with that, but that's the way it is. You know, you have to face the reality. If it probably wasn't to happen today, we will make it happen in the playoffs.
4 teams were vying for the remaining 2 playoff places going into the weekend. Among them Crystal Palace, without a win in 9, who faced relegation-threatened Peterborough. Commentary comes from Alistair Mann.
Rowe and Tomlin. It's done well, Tomlin. It's done brilliantly, Tomlin. Brilliant goal! Absolute stunner. Well, if they are going to stay up, courtesy of that goal, it merits being that decisive. Wonderful. Knocked on at the near and claims of handball, and Zakuani was that a missed challenge? I think it was. Penalty. Zakuani on Gabidon. It was a poor challenge. He missed the ball and caught Gabidon right on the knee. Can Murray put them level? There's your answer. He moves to 30 league goals of the season, but more importantly, he puts Crystal Palace level. There are plenty of anxious supporters as Mendes-Lang hits it into the corner of the net. Sensational! Where did that come from? The left boot of Mendes-Lang. Dobby takes. Jedinak heads it. Thumped away by McCann. Gathered in by Dobby. Still in Palace possession. Phillips! Kevin Phillips! There's nobody quite like him. They seem safe, Peterborough, but now it's worry time. And Jedinak! Palace may well have won it and sent Peterborough down. They lead 3-2. Palace into the playoffs. Peterborough into League One, it seems.
The stakes couldn't have been higher as these 2 East Midland rivals strolled out into the sunshine. Red or blue, both went in search of the win that would turn up the heat on those above them. At the start of play, a point may have been good enough for Forest to nick a playoff spot, but they were leaving nothing to chance. Just 3 minutes in, Andy Reid's cross dropped kindly for Simon Cox, the striker eventually finding the net. His first goal since scoring against the Foxes back in November, and Forest were now in the top 6.
That news went down like a lead balloon for Bolton, who'd been dislodged and now needed a win to regain their top 6 berth. Instead, they fell behind in the Lancashire derby with Blackpool. Matt Phillips cranking up the home crowd's anxiety a notch.
Back at the City Ground, Leicester were coming on strong. After all, only a win would do for them. After working a short corner with Lloyd Dyer, the way opened up for Matty James. With the aid of a big deflection, they were back in business.
And Bolton were back to requiring a draw. At a goal down, they could still fancy their chances. Fall 2 behind and Wanderers would have a mountain to climb. So not a good idea to leave Ludo Silvestre completely unmarked. A real shock for a side who'd won their last 8 at home.
That left the door wide open for both Forest and the Foxes, who continued to slug it out. As half-time approached, Dave Nugent found Anthony Knockart, who plotted his route to the byline. Having got there unchallenged, the Frenchman stood up the perfect cross for Andy King. A crushing blow for the home side as Leicester swapped places with them.
While their promotion rivals traded positions, Bolton remained becalmed in 7th in need of a stirring comeback. Chris Eagles restored hope at the Reebok with a typically well-taken goal from distance in first half stoppage time, and then crowned an incredible finish to the half by breaking free to supply Craig Davis. The strikers shot nothing special, but the home side's luck had changed. Now only Leicester's superior goal difference was keeping Wanderers out of the top 6.
But that became immaterial as Forest hit back early in the second half. Elliot Ward rising highest to square the scores at 2-2, but it was Bolton who felt the benefit as Leicester dropped down to 8th.
Back in Lancashire and back in the top 6, Dougie Freedman's men were pursuing the winner that could all but guarantee reward for their recent excellent form. But Darren Pratley blazed over and they could still fall prey to events in Nottingham,
where it was still up for grabs. In stoppage time, Leicester launched a counter-attack and the hosts found themselves outnumbered. Chris Wood rolling it back for Knockart to strike the knockout blow. Forest were floored as Nigel Pearson's men got their hands on that final playoff position on goal difference. That spelled the end for Forest, who could still ruin it for the visitors. One last charge forward had their opponents panicking, but when they needed him the most, Kasper Schmeichel came up with the goods before Ward could only find the side netting. So Leicester scraped through, but there's to be no fairy tale ending for Billy Davies this time.
The end for Bolton too, front runners at the start of the day, who fell at the final hurdle.
1 minute we're thinking a draw might quite do it. We felt today, as we started the game, we were always going to try and win the game, and we felt that from the first minute to the last minute that's what we tried to do. I can't ask nothing more from my fans and from my players. We set out in the right way and we finished in the right way. Other results did affect us, but you cannot go through life or football living like that.
The players showed a lot of courage today. I think it was a really good open game of football, both sides obviously trying to win it, and we needed some good fortune elsewhere, but it's I think for us it puts the season in perspective a wee bit. We've had a difficult time, but we've been able to draw a line under that and still perform very, very well today when it really mattered. So who knows now?
It was some game of football, wasn't it? Two clubs giving it everything, two teams giving it absolutely everything to try and win. Proud of the players. Gaffer's done great since he's been here with the squad. And we were going for it. That's football.
Still to come, Wolves needed a miracle if they were to avoid a second successive relegation away at Brighton. And it was do or die at the John Smiths as Huddersfield and Barnsley went head to head.
I don't think there's going to be a miracle today. It could happen, but it's not going to.
Fingers crossed, live in hope. Keep the faith, that's all we can say.
Not even the omens were with the Wolves at the Amex. Incredibly, on May the 4th, 1985, defeat at Brighton saw Wolves drop into the third tier after a second successive relegation. Exactly 28 years later, Bakary Sakho was doing his best to prevent history from repeating itself. To avoid the drop, Wanderers needed a win, defeats for Barnsley and Peterborough, and a 5-goal swing in their favour. So when Kazenga Lualoa scored with Brighton's first attack, mission improbable quickly became mission impossible. With fourth place already secured, Brighton could afford to relax, but the Seagulls were in no mood to do anybody any favours. Thomas Kuszczak kept out Sacco's corner, as Gus Poyet's side looked determined to keep things ticking over ahead of the playoffs. Their fourth win out of 5 games was confirmed before half-time. Noah Loa was left in space, and his second of the match and 5th of the season came after some nimble footwork. Somersaults from him, Wolves tumbling only out of the division. Swindon were the last team to go directly from the top to the 3rd tier. Wolves are now the only club to do it twice. Matt Doherty's miss said it all about their day. Wanderers go down with a whimper, having lost 5 of their last 6 games.
We need to get players in the club who are going to put the shirt on, be proud to wear the shirt, get the culture right in the club so that we're all on a winning formula, and hungry players who want to roll their sleeves up with no mental baggage. I think there's so much damage being done mentally to the players, it's hard to put right.
It's a great end of the regular season. It's a good way to confirm that we play serious. We didn't play with any other results. We didn't give any chance to any team in any moment, and I think it was deserved as well. So yeah, a good game to finish.
Millwall knew a draw would see them safe at Derby, but were equally aware that their players had run out of steam, drained after 9 games in April, including the FA Cup semi-final. They'd be okay if they could handle the pressure for just 90 more minutes. Keeper David Ford may have been unhappy with some of the attention he received early on, but must have been more kindly disposed towards the ref after charging out of his area and colliding with Jamie Ward. Not even a free kick given. When Derby did get one, the Irishman in goal made a better impression. A sharp stop thwarting Richard Keogh and the London club living dangerously. A lead would make all the difference, but Jermaine Easter's acrobatics counted for nothing thanks to Paul Coots on the line. And Millwall was sweating even more for the final 5 minutes after Derby put them at the mercy of results elsewhere. Connor Salmon struck what could have been a killer blow to the Lions, but the 56 points they started with turned out to be just enough.
Relieved, if I'm honest, because we didn't plan to come here today and get beat. We needed a draw to sort ourselves out. It wasn't to be, so we were looking around and seeing if anyone has done us a favour, and thankfully there's a couple of results gone our way and we've survived, so pleased.
It's a good finish in the competitive league that we're in at the moment, and but we're kicking ourselves a little bit to be 7 points off the playoffs, because just looking back in the last 6 or 8 weeks we could have had an extra 7 points.
Sheffield Wednesday are getting used to last day deciders. In 3 of the last 4 seasons they've had something riding on the final day. Shea Olofunjana failed to hit the target in a match they needed to win to guarantee championship safety. Middlesbrough seemed like the ideal opponents. Steve Howard scampered through to rifle the Owls in front, which had Tony Mowbray's team heading for even more disappointment. Howard's first goal in Wednesday colours laid the foundations for a priceless victory, and when Lewis Buxton's corner was touched in by former Borough striker Leroy Lita, they were looking comfortable. Despite their early season promise, Borough have finished with a whimper and could have been in even bigger trouble by half-time. Jeremy Allan refused to be outmuscled, but Rhys Williams came to the Teessiders' rescue, his goal line clearance denying Howard a second. But the away side seemed intent on making life difficult for themselves. A woeful back pass from Christian Burgess led in Lita, who went close to increasing the lead. No matter, it's mission accomplished.
This is a far greater achievement than promotion last year, because this is a hard division, the teams that are throwing lots of money at their wage bills and everything else, and we competed with that and beat a lot of the top sides. So now we look for stability.
We've had a frustrating second half of the season. We have been a very, very stop-start. You only lose some key players. It does affect the fluidity of the team and the fluency of the team. Ultimately, the squad hasn't been strong enough over the course of 46 games. I think for 28 games, I think it was, we were strong enough and could have gone top of the table on New Year's Day. But ultimately, the harshness of this league has caught us out, I think.
Barring a 13-goal swing going against them, Rovers could afford to relax at Birmingham, especially once Nikola Zigic poked this one wide. So compressed is the championship table that while technically still relegation candidates, another set of results could have taken Rovers above Birmingham and into mid-table. But the chances of that diminished once Ravel Morrison put the Blues ahead just before half-time.
but Blackburn fought back after the break. David Jones struck the bar as Rovers had the better of the second half. They grabbed an equaliser on 66 minutes, Jordan Rhodes scoring his 30th goal of the campaign. Keeping hold of him is Blackburn's next battle.
Could have been more than one up in the first half, created some good chances, but thought we died a death in the second half. I think we slowly but surely lost the grip of the game, so probably a fair result.
It's not been the season that the club hoped for. Obviously the club now needs some stability, and we've got an important summer ahead for us, and we've got to make sure that we don't experience what we've experienced this season.
Charlton storming into the campaign should have the Addicks fans wishing away the summer, their season finishing with a flourish, just like Jan Kermorgant. The midfielder was the star of the show as bottom club Bristol City, with only League One to look forward to, was swept away in the second half. Chris Solly's cross helping Kermorgant bag his second in the space of 4 minutes. Chris Powell's men have been far from generous since early March, averaging 2 points a game, though Michael Morrison's mistake allowed Bobby Reid to mark his first City start with a goal. But after that it was back to the old routine. Red shirts pouring forward and Kermorgant setting his sights on a hat-trick of the highest quality. So close, but it was John Obika who collected the congratulations instead. Bristol City were plummeting towards an unwanted club record, 27 league defeats this term, the most in the Football League. Teed up by Bradley Pritchard, Johnny Jackson wrapped up the rout.
A terrific performance and result for us, and a real fitting way for how we've played, you know, over the course of the season, not only recently, but you know, the players have been outstanding.
You never enjoy football management, never, unless you're winning every week, and only Alex Ferguson apparently does that, so we're all in the same boat, and you know, we all enjoy it when it's going well, and we all scratch our heads when it's not going so well, so I've done a lot of scratching in the last 3 months.
Unaffected by the chaos going on elsewhere, these two could at least enjoy their final day. Patrick Kisnorbo inches away from giving Ipswich an early lead at Turf Moor. With both sides having confirmed their championship status a week ago, this had a typical end-of-season feel to it, but on the hour Burnley brought the game to life in spectacular fashion. Ipswich's usually stubborn defence left helpless as Junior Stanislas crashed the hosts in front. Down the other end, young striker Jack Marriott was looking lively on his debut. Lee Grant getting down sharply to deny him his first professional goal. But 3 minutes from the end, Martin Patterson sealed the win that sees Burnley finish as Lancashire's top club, while Ipswich can look forward to next season with plenty of optimism.
Having started the day in the bottom three, the pressure was supposed to be on Barnsley here, but Chris O'Grady's 14th minute opener soon gave the Tykes the upper hand. That goal put Huddersfield in danger of the drop, but James Vaughan's effort was the best they could muster before the break. Mark Robins made 2 changes at half-time, and that helped turn the tide. 8 minutes after the restart, substitute Danny Ward slipped in Jermaine Beckford for the equaliser. That put Barnsley back in the bottom three, but still they believed. David Perkins came close to an instant response, Alex Smithies making the save. With Huddersfield's goal difference a rotten -20, any win would have taken the Tykes above their local rivals. When Jason Scotland scored with 16 minutes to go, safety was within reach. However, 6 minutes later, it was the Terriers that confirmed their survival. James Vaughan's goal took them to an uncatchable 58 points. Barnsley had to endure a nervous wait for news from Selhurst Park, but Peterborough's defeat meant a draw was enough for both sides to secure championship status for next season.
A check on the table then, and Hull join the champions Cardiff in the Premier League next season. Watford, Brighton, Crystal Palace and Leicester have one last shot via the playoffs. At the other end, Wolves' second successive relegation was confirmed by their defeat at Brighton. Peterborough and Bristol City join them in League One next season. In the League One playoff first leg, Sheffield United take a 1-0 lead into their away match at Yeovil, while Swindon and Brentford drew 1-1. In League Two, Burton Albion beat Bradford City 3-2 at Valley Parade, while Northampton have a slender 1-0 lead going into their second leg tie at Cheltenham. So it's the last chance saloon of the playoffs for Watford. They face a Leicester side just happy to be there. While Brighton will come up against their fiercest rivals, Crystal Palace. Join us next time.